Welcome to Saddle Up Live, a transformative podcast tailored for women aged 40 and beyond, where courage, God's grace, and a touch of sass are the driving forces behind conquering life's challenges. Join me, Lisa Koski, as I take you on a captivating ride through the multifaceted aspects of womanhood in this vibrant stage of life. We are covering everything from my journey through breast cancer, the intricacies of marriage, and the joys of motherhood, to the exciting adventures of grandparenting. In each episode, we saddle up for candid conversations about God, health, relationships, family dynamics, and the beautiful chaos that comes along the way. But here's the twist. Saddle Up Live goes beyond navigating the highs and lows of life. It's a platform dedicated to sharing what we have learned along the way. I want to help women thrive through it all. Together, we'll uncover actionable strategies for personal and professional development, providing you with the tools and inspiration needed to blaze new trails and seize every opportunity that comes your way. Moreover, we are committed to helping you suffer less and live more fully. Through our discussions on God, health, wellness, and mindfulness, we explore practical techniques for managing stress, cultivating resilience, and embracing a holistic approach to self-care. So whether you're looking for practical advice, heartfelt stories, or simply a supportive community of like-minded women, saddle up and join us on this exhilarating ride. Because at Saddle Up Live, we believe every woman deserves to thrive, flourish, and live her best life, no matter her age or stage. Welcome, listeners. I'm so happy to be here this morning chatting with you. And this is a little bit of a different podcast. I'm doing something different that I probably won't do again. This podcast is going to go on my Doing Divorce Different podcast and on my Saddle Up Live podcast. And the reason I'm doing that is to let people know I wasn't sure when I got, if you know me, I had that scary breast cancer diagnosis. And I wasn't sure that I actually wasn't sure if I was going to keep up either podcast. And I have not been doing Divorce Different. But what I want you to know is that I have decided that I am going to continue with Doing Divorce Different, probably be starting up again in a month or so. So maybe end of August, it'll start coming out regularly again. And I will continue to do Saddle Up Live. So I'm super excited about that. I love both of them. The platforms are amazing. And I think on Doing Divorce Different, I'm going to talk a little bit more about relationships. And of course, if you do, find that you're in the position where you're needing to go through a divorce, I do think there are better ways that you can do it. And so I love that message. So excited to be chatting with people again about that. And then just chatting about life and health and fitness and how to live your best life on Saddle Up Live. So the reason that I felt passionate about doing this podcast this morning, and it's funny, I was out on a walk, and here's the deal. I have had 9 of my 12 chemo sessions. This is the time where I should be feeling pretty sick. Yesterday was the day that I, should have been a hard day for me. And I am feeling so amazing that I want to just share with everyone what I'm doing. And I know that, if you're going through a divorce, you're thinking, why is she talking about cancer? It's because most of us know someone who has cancer or who have had it ourselves. And maybe you're at the brink of just learning about it. And I just want you to know that when that was me, I was terrified. And it's the C word. I think I was terrified. I think I was maybe humiliated. Like, I'm this healthy person. How can I be now this sick person? This isn't making any sense. And what I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I want to share what I've learned. you don't have to be so afraid, because this treatment has gone so well for me. And I know there are different kind of chemos that can have different effects. And I can't pinpoint for certain what I have done that has made this go so well for me, but I'm going to tell you everything I'm doing to share it with you, so that if you ever have to go through it, or someone you love does, or someone you just know, that they can try these things and see if it helps them. Now, I'm not a doctor, and that's going to be real clear as I'm going through this, but I putter in health things. I follow Dr. Mindy Pels and Genius Life, and of course my coach Tracy and Marie Simpson. These are all people who have helped me in this health journey. And so when I had this eating regimen that I did before the cancer came up, and when cancer hit, I let it all go. They told me I had to eat lots of small meals a day, and I started eating gluten-free bagels when I was more of a person who didn't eat a lot of carbs. And so I kind of was starting anew in the middle of treatment, because I just thought, why would I not be doing what was good for me before now, especially? So here's what I want you to know. The number one thing that I did, the most important thing, was I relied on God. And it doesn't mean that I still don't get scared sometimes and I still don't worry, but I keep focusing on, I just give it to Jesus, and I do what I can do, and I let him take care of the rest. Another really important thing was I got a community of prayer warriors, and it was just like a group text, and I just would send out, hey, I need prayer on this. And I am not kidding. Like when I went in for my surgery, it was like you can feel, I don't know if anyone's ever done this, but you can like feel the support of the prayers or the angels or whatever it is walking you up to that. And it was almost like a supernatural experience. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, when you're trying to learn what your prognosis is, you sit in hard, and you just have to sit. You just have to sit with the hard. But what I want you to know is it's not forever. And I was so blessed to have such a great prognosis. It was stage 1. It hadn't spread, but still the scary thing was I had to do chemo, and I have radiation coming up. And then I have to do an immune therapy every 3 weeks for a year. So, it seemed like a lot. I think the scariest thing was the chemo. And this is what I want you to know. I am a person who has high anxiety. And I think it was when COVID started, was a time when I decided to go on medication. And I think I was on it for maybe a year. And then I weaned myself off it, and I started coaching, and I had my mindset, and I have my God. And so I did really, really well. This is what I want you to know. And I kind of felt ashamed of this during the chemo. I could not get out of the spin of the anxiety. I was not living my best life during chemo. I was terrified. And I know it's scary, but I think I didn't have to be that terrified. So I prayed a lot, and I sent a note to my doctor, and I decided to go back on a low dose of an anti anxiety medication. And it has made all the difference. So don't be afraid to do that. And there are people that need it just in life, and that's okay. I'm experiencing this now, and it has definitely helped make my journey through chemo much, much better. And I'm planning on probably weaning off of it. I'll let you know how that goes. Um, Probably in about another month or so. So, but it really was helpful to get me through it, because I was scared and spinning out. And, you got to do everything you can, because you do want to have a good attitude as you go through this. Okay. So, here's the next thing that I want to let you know. And I wholeheartedly believe in this just in life in general. So I think you should live this way, whether you're going through cancer or not. And I put eat healthy. And that looks different to so many people. But what I have learned, and I learned this from Marie Simpson, who is a coach. She was a physician's assistant, did some functional medicine stuff. But she had a class on cancer. And it was funny because that week I had just decided, you know what, I'm not going to long fast because I don't need that stress on my body right now, but I'm going to get my eating window back down to 8 hours. And I'm going to cut down on the sugars because I noticed my sugar was high when I'd go in for my blood test for my chemo. Well, lo and behold, and then I started reading Genius Life, that book about the healthy foods. And I really thought, if there's a time for me to not want any cancer cells to grow, because it should be all out of me. But if there's any funky thing walking around, I don't want it. I want the chemo to get it and I want the radiation to get it. And so, what I learned in this class that I took, that you need when you're going through treatment in life in general, but especially when you're going through treatment, you want to be metabolically fit because the chemo and the radiation will work better. And what Marie explained, well, and here's the thing, this is where you're going to know that I'm not a doctor, but basically, this is what I got from it. If you go into a chemo session or especially a radiation session and you're eating like the normal American diet where we get lots of carbs, lots of sugars, you are going to go into chemo and the cancer cells go after the sugar right away. That's what really feeds them. So if you feed them well, that stuff, you go into chemo and they're not as attracted to eating the chemo, and then it can bother your healthy cells. If you can kind of starve the body of the sugar and the carbohydrates that turn into sugar before while you're doing chemo, while you're doing radiation, and I think she said for about a month after, I'm planning on living like this. Then those cancer cells are so hungry because they haven't gotten their sugar that they're going to go eat the stuff that's going to kill them. So yeah, that's real scientific, isn't it? But here's the thing about me is I learn things and sometimes I don't know why it works. But this makes sense to me. And this is what I want you to know. So whether or not that was true, that it was going after my cells, this is what has changed. I feel way better. Not that I had minimal side effects to begin with. I don't feel as tired. And this week I haven't had nausea. And I'm doing the eating window. I'm, cut back way on my carbs. So I'm basically, eating a lot of blueberries, maybe some plain yogurt. I do eat lots of red meat, lots of greens because we need that fiber. And I started taking some of my supplements again. So this is what I want you to know. I am putting this together in a form, and I am going to put down what I've eaten through this because it seems to be helping me. And what the heck, if it can help you, I want to help you. So, but it's basically kind of following the Genius Life diet and having that eating window where I stop eating at about 5:30 and then maybe start at like 10:30 in the morning or something like that. So, it has helped me immensely. Okay, here's another thing that I did. Right, I had this great surgeon, Dr. Elizabeth O'Leary, and she sent me to, it was actually an occupational therapist. I think you could do physical therapy too. And she sent me to her before I even had surgery, and they measured my strength. And I didn't want to go. I didn't want to deal with it because you're going through so many things, but it has been a lifesaver. And I'm not going to her anymore, but I did go to her. I think it was after surgery. And then I did it a couple times during chemo. And I mean, I had all these restrictions on me. I felt like I was lifting. First, I had nothing. Then I was doing soup cans, and I'm felt like I was kind of a fit person. And my goal became I want to be stronger after chemo and this treatment than I was before. And by golly, praise the Lord, that seems like it seems like it's getting there. I'm almost to the point that I was. before I started this and hoping to get stronger. But the thing about the OT or the physical therapy is that you have someone to connect with and you know what you can do. So you're not afraid. And it just kept me on course. So I highly recommend it. I think it's been a big part of why I feel good. And you know what? It gives me something positive to focus on. There's not a lot I can do, right? I have to let everything, work for me. But this is something I can do. And, I mean, they always say physical activity helps with depression and anxiety. So why not? Why not? And I say, so I started the strength training plan and I do it every other day. And, it can take about an hour. And then I walk at least 10,000 steps a day, but up to 15, sometimes a little bit more. I walk a lot. And here, of course, you have to listen to your body because there are going to be days when you feel like you can't exercise that much. So then don't take an easy walk around. You've got to listen to your body, of course. And here's the thing that I've been so blessed. I've had help from Michelle Leeson. She's been helping with my divorce mediations. I think she's probably better than I am at it. So if you're working with her, you've got a good one. What that has allowed, it's allowed me to be flexible. So do everything you can to have and I know not everyone has this opportunity, but to make your work schedule flexible so that you can go take a walk or a nap if you need to. So that has been a huge blessing to me that I have been able to be flexible. And if you can't be flexible, you've got to make yourself the top priority. And when you come home from work, lay down and take a nap and then go for a walk and let the housework go. I mean, my gardens are not what they were, but my almost 80-year-old mom comes and takes care of my gardens for me, which is amazing. And I do garden a little bit, but I can't have it be something that's stressing me out, which you know what, we shouldn't anyway. Um so another thing, I think I mentioned this a little bit. If you can take naps, wow, does that help? And sometimes I can't fall asleep, but put yourself to bed. Even if maybe you're like, well, I don't know if I'm that tired, just try. Give yourself some downtime, give yourself some rest because your body really needs it. And you do get tired through this. And I've heard that through radiation, you also get tired. So give yourself a break and take those naps. And here's another thing that has carried me through is to focus on what I'm grateful for. And we all know that. And I always say I try to do it at the end of the night. And sometimes I forget, or when I wake up in the morning, I think of even the simple things. I'm so grateful for this pillow behind my head. I'm so grateful for my animals and this day. And sometimes it's really hard. But I think through this cancer journey, what I kept having to focus on was all the good things that I heard. Because you can get yourself wrapped around all the scary treatments that you have to go through. But the point is, I have a great prognosis. I think it was 98% positive outcome. It was small. It was early detection, which is why you've got to go get your mammograms, ladies. And you know what? Any of you who are out there, go get your tests because the earlier you catch anything, the way better, the way better. And the things that I have learned through this journey, I know that I'm going to look back and go, wow, that changed my life. I'm living a better life because of this journey I've been through. So I'm going to share this with you. And I don't think I want to change the way I'm eating ever because I feel so good now. Which is, I want to bring up this too. Oh, I love wine. I love a glass of wine. But I do think that maybe I used it to kind of numb me or calm my anxiety a little bit. And I didn't drink a ton, but I love to have a glass of wine with dinner. Well, here's the deal. That's a toxin. There's no way around it. Alcohol is toxic. And so I thought when I'm going through chemo, I'm not drinking and I'm not having any caffeine. And I don't know. I want to share that with you because I'm doing so well through this. And I was thinking, why would I put another toxin in if I'm already dealing with this toxin? But the things that I've learned about alcohol is when you drink a glass of wine every day as a woman, your liver is busy because they see that as a poison. So it's taking its time cleaning that out, and it's not helping you on even your blood vessels, your blood sugar. They're all getting affected because your liver's busy. And so the normal work that the liver does doesn't get to be done. And that's where you can have where you gain weight and can't lose it. Or like I think it can affect your arteries and everything. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I think I haven't decided if I think my wine drinking days are behind me. Maybe on certain celebrations, but I'm telling you, I feel so good. I can't wait to see how I feel when I'm done with treatment. And then the last thing that I want to share with you that I learned from the beginning that my daughter, Dr. Abby, shared with me when I started this journey. You be you. There is no right way to handle this. You get to decide what's best for you. And that was really different for me. Like you get to decide who you want to tell. You get to decide if you want to be around people or if you'd rather kind of stay safe. And I chose the option of staying safe. I've gone to a couple things. I've been with my grandchildren and family, but not a lot of other things. And I'm an introvert, so that worked for me. But you do you. You and you tell people what you need. And I'm telling you, by golly, that was one of the hardest things for this people pleaser to, be like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. My house isn't going to be clean when you come. All those things. But you have to, this is your journey. And then of course share it if you can, because I think it was really hard for me to share at first. And today I felt like I have to share this. I have to share this information because I want to help people. I don't want chemo to be as scary as it is. I don't want cancer to be. It's terrifying to hear that. And I'm telling you, I'm almost on the other side of chemo. I'll have 2 left when you're listening to this. And it has been so much better than I ever anticipated. And I have learned so much that I know I'm going to be a healthier human in my mind, in my body, in my spirit, in my relationship with my God, my family, my work, the work that I do. So it has been a blessing already. So anyway, I love you all. Thanks for listening. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so excited that I'm going to I'm going to have Saddle Up Live and Doing Divorce Different in the near future. Thanks so much for joining me. Take good care.
Thank you for tuning in to another empowering episode of Saddle Up Live. As we conclude this exhilarating journey together, don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts, and become a valued member of our vibrant community. Because, as always, every woman deserves to thrive, flourish, and live her best life. Until the next time, saddle up and keep conquering those trails.